Hi guys, welcome to part 3 of multiplying polynomials. We're doing binomials multiplied with trinomials. This is a little bit more challenging than foiling and distributing. I have an easy solution for that, an easy way to set it up after we multiply to make it a little bit more simple for you. But the simplest way to do this is if we start by multiplying the quantity that contains the binomial in front of the trinomial. So this quantity has the 2 terms in front of the 3 terms. So let's start with multiplying. Now you start out the same exact way. In this case, we have this 2p is our first term that we see, and we're going to multiply 2p with 1, 2, 3, or 3 terms in the second quantity. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the 2p. This is technically essentially 2p to the first power. So again, you're multiplying the big numbers, adding your little numbers or your exponents. I'm just putting an exponent to every p. Okay, every p has an exponent. So 2p times p to the second power. So 2 is the only number, so I'm going to write down my 2. And we have p1 times p3, which is, or p2, I'm sorry, which is p3. I was getting ahead of myself. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, so we multiplied it with our first term in the trinomial. Now we're going to go to the second term in it. 2p times negative 3p. Positive times a negative will give you a negative. 2 times 3 is 6. P1 times P1 is P2. Next, we're going to multiply 2p times the third and final term. So we have 2p times 4. So 2p is positive and so is 4. So it's positive. 2 times 4 is 8. And you keep your p. Okay. So since we multiplied our 2p to every term in the second quantity, now we're on to our 1. When I multiply this 1 to every term here, I'm going to start lining it up underneath by like terms. So I have 1 times p to the second power, which is 1p to the second power. So I'm going to put that underneath 6p to the second power. So 1p to the second power should go under negative 6p to the second power. They're like terms. Now I have 1 times negative 3. Positive times a negative is a negative. And it'll give us negative 3p, which should go underneath this 8p. Like terms. And finally I have 1 times 4. That gives me positive 4. There is no like term, so it's going to come over here to the side. Okay. We're going to combine both of these by like terms. This didn't have a like term, so you just jot it down. So 2p3. You have negative 6p squared plus 1p squared, which is negative 5p to the second. 8p minus 3p is 5p. And 4 doesn't have a like term, so you just copy it down. And this right here is your answer. Let's look at another one. This one, again, you're doing the same thing. So that 2x to the second power has to multiply with each term in the second quantity. So I'm going to give this x a 1 here. It's to the first power. Every other x has an exponent, so we don't have to worry there. So we have 2x to the second times 5x to the third. 2 times 5 is 10. x2 times x3 is x5. 2 plus 3 is 5. That's why. Now we have our 2x to the second power times our negative 4x to the first power. Positive and negative is a negative. 2 times 4 is 8. x2 times x1 is x3. because 2 plus 1 is 3. Now we're on to our third and final term. We have 2x squared times positive 8. So it's a positive 2 times 8 is 16. Keep your x to the second. All right, now we're done with our 2x to the second power. Multiply with 1, 2, 3 terms, and I'm done with that. Now I'm on to my negative 3. So I have negative 3 times positive 5x to the third, which will give me a negative 15x to the third, which should go underneath your 8x to the third because they are like terms. Next, you have negative 3 times a negative 4x. Negative and a negative is a positive, and 3 times 4x is 12x. There is no just plain old x, so this is going to come over here because there is no like term. So we have 12x. And finally, last but not least, we have negative 3 times positive 8, which gives us a negative. 3 times 8 is 24. Again, no like term. So it comes over here. And we have to combine terms. 10x to the fifth, no like term, bring it down. Negative 8 minus 15x3, they're both x3's, is negative 23x to the third. Copy down your 16x squared. Copy down your 12x and your negative 24 because none of them had like terms. And this is your answer. Okay. So, well, it's pretty simple. You distribute each term from your binomial into the trinomial. Okay. So you'll have 3 from the first 3 terms that you get after multiplying, and 1, 2, 3 terms after multiplying the second number in the binomial through. Okay. The terms that you get as a result may vary. And then we have this one. Remember I said it's going to be easier if you take your binomial and put it in front. So what you could do here is all you have to do to fix this is take this and write it down first. So 2x minus 5. Write that on the left. And then I'm just going to copy this down. You could do it the other way. It's just a little less messy this way. Now it's set up how I want it. And again, I think we kind of have the gist of this. So, again, if it's helpful for you, you could put those ones so you don't forget to add. But again, you're just taking this 2x, multiplying it by everything in the second quantity. When we're done, you're going to take that negative 5 and do the same. Combining your like terms, and then you get your answer. So here we go. We have 2x times x to the second. No other number, so you have 2. Keep your x. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay. Positive times a negative is a negative. 2 times 5, 10. X, write it down. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay. And last, we have a positive times a positive, which gives us a positive. 2 times 4 is 8. Keep your x. All right, now we're done with our 2x to the first power. We have to move along to the negative 5. So we have negative 5. Oh, I didn't change that. I'm sorry. Let me grab my color. Negative 5 times x. So negative times a positive is a negative, and it's negative 5x to the second. So it should go underneath this 10x to the second. x2. Next, you have negative 5 times negative 5x. So you have a negative and a negative, which will make a positive. 5 times 5x is 25x, which should go underneath as 8x. 25x. And last, you have negative 5 times 4, which is negative, and a positive is a negative. 5 times 4 is 20. No like terms, so it goes off to the side. All right. Before we could say we're finished, we have to combine our like terms. No like terms for the x to the thirds, so copy it down. Negative 10 minus 5 is negative 15. Keep your x to the second. 8 plus 25 is 33. Keep your x. No like terms for the negative 20, so copy it down. And there's your answer. And that's multiplying a binomial times a trinomial.